Just now, one of the most shocking things that has happened in recent hip-hop history happened. 50 Cent sent Kendrick Lamar live in front of thousands of people, publicly shaming him. The unexpected collision has caused a cultural earthquake, and there is a lot of discussion on the internet. Videos of the game being turned upside down went viral on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and fans are talking about that moment. 50 Cent has taken the stage and publicly humiliated Kendrick in real time, turning what started out as light jabs into a full-fledged feud. The audience let out a start. Within minutes of the live stream going viral, hashtags like number 50 Cent's Kendrick and hashtag Pulitzer Pen started trending all over the world. But this is the question. Was this the impetus behind Kendrick's riskiest response to date, or was it a decisive win for hip-hop's villain? Listen carefully because there is more to this story than just music. History is being made in real time. It began like any other night for admirers of 50 Cent. Flashing lights, a packed auditorium, and the vigor of a man who has dominated hip-hop headlines for 2 decades. But no one expected the night to become one of the most talked about occasions in the history of rap. What was supposed to be just another event quickly became a stage for 50 to publicly humiliate Kendrick Lamar. The situation developed to this degree over time. Tension had been building for weeks. The earliest rumors to circulate were that Kendrick was quietly disparaging 50 in songs that had not yet been published. Conjecture that grows like wildfire through Twitter, conversations, and hip-hop forums. 50. Never underestimate a challenge. Interviews suggested that the builder of the castle should be reminded of some of these new kings. The fans thought it was mere chit-chat. Nobody anticipated it getting this terrible. However, 50 decided that night to do what he does best, which is to bring the fight to the public's attention. With the audience shouting and the bass hammering, he grabbed the microphone, grinned, and stopped the music. He said, "You guys keep talking about this Pulitzer boy." He was referring to Kendrick's Pulitzer Prize win, and the crowd burst into laughter and drunkenness. "But that doesn't make you invincible as far as I know." The audience camera zoomed in. Like the stars, the phone shone brightly. The remarks that would blow the company away were recorded in a few seconds while live broadcasting on TikTok and Instagram. Then 50 jumped right into a freestyle diss. He made statements that blatantly criticized Kendrick's size, minimized his achievements, and questioned his reputation on the streets. They gasped, cheered, and screamed. Clips of the concert went viral online with titles like Pulitzer Pen and 50 just ended Kendrick live. 50 Cent's Kendrick, I can't believe he said that on stage. Hashtag hip-hop history Kendrick has to respond ASAP. This is brutal. Even more embarrassing was the scene behind 50, where altered pictures of Kendrick's Pulitzer Prize disintegrating were displayed on LED displays. Con emojis warped his album covers, while fans in the arena yelled and recorded him bending down. Meanwhile, the fallout was instantaneous on Twitter, where within 15 minutes, GIFs of Kendrick laughing uncontrollably and even phony funeral posters with his name were broadcast to his 20,000 Twitch fans, and his sullen visage was superimposed onto SpongeBob characters. This is ridiculous, bro. 50's embarrassment is unlike anything we've seen since Nas vs. Jay-Z. On stage, Kendrick had the opportunity to discuss character assassination. Fuck wins by default if he remains silent. But celebrities also participated. Fifth Wilden, but you guys know differently. The game posted on Instagram while Cardi B responded, "Lou petty as hell, but damn, he ain't playing. Remain awake. You guys had better keep an eye on how this plays out." Even Snoop Dogg replied, "There is never peace on the West Coast." Fans simultaneously jeered, applauded, and screamed as 50 marched over the stage as though he had just pulled off the biggest coup, proving that the humiliation stretched beyond the bars and affected his confidence as well. A few posted their films with the words, "This is the craziest live moment I've ever seen," while others raised their hands in surprise. Alongside Kendrick's name, terms like humiliated, exposed, and cringed for gained popularity. A man who is frequently viewed as untouchable. The visuals were harsh, and 50 were aware of it. Remember how he sneered into the camera before he left the stage and said, "Cue the money." The internet erupted even more when one TikTok caption that went viral read, "That's not just a diss. That's a declaration of war. The civil war of hip-hop." Before the evening was out, bloggers and other sources had already started to cover it. Complex was uploaded. According to XXL, it's a live CD of nuclear proportions. Rolling Stone tweeted, 50 turns tour stop into public execution. Is 50 Cent's humiliation of Kendrick Lamar on stage the end of Dot's mystique? We need earn #response 250. Don't let him clown you like this. Bro. Pulitzer doesn't save you in a street war. Fans of Kendrick Lamar flooded his Instagram comments with such phrases, demanding a response. Some even tagged Kendrick Clear directly beneath 50's posts, adding fuel to the fire, while others warned that 50 might have made a dangerous mistake. Kendrick is renowned for his ability to strike harder than anyone anticipates after remaining silent and patient. Observe, however, the plot was obvious at that point. 50 Cent had taken the initiative and publicly humiliated one of the most well-known hip-hop rappers. Was the first round won by the villain, or had he simply set off a larger event? The hashtags number 50 Kendrick and hashtag Pulitzer pen still trended worldwide. The headline, 50 killed Kendrick live, dominated. TikTok edits received millions of views overnight, and YouTube reactors rushed to post their breakdowns of the live humiliation, causing hip-hop to wake up to a cultural earthquake the morning after 50 Cent's explosive performance. Clips of 50 mocking Kendrick Pulitzer, the clown emojis lighting on the LED displays, and the freestyle disses aired repeatedly online as we entered a generational moment. It was the spectacle as much as the disrespect. Although fans couldn't take their eyes off of 50, Kendrick's silence was the true story, not what 50 said. In the hopes of seeing something, a mysterious Instagram story, a cryptic tweet, or simply a subtle like, fans continued to check Kendrick's social media accounts for hours on end, but all were silent. Kendrick Lamar's prompt response: "We're waiting, bro. Avoid being treated like this by Fifth. Drop the nuke and hashtag reply to 50. There must be a response to this." 50 Cent just made the whole West look foolish. Dot had to explain why. Those who viewed the quiet as a strategy were on the opposing side. The reason Kendrick is dangerous is that he never acts fast. Hashtag the power of patient sex. You all think he's silent, but he's actually writing at the moment. It will be a cultural obituary rather than a freestyle. On social media, the argument turned into a full-fledged conflict as hundreds of fans argued over whether Kendrick's legacy had been harmed. Fans shouted over one another on Twitch as the fire at academics returned, debating whether this was Kendrick's setup for podcasts or 50's victory lap. The world just saw 50, demonstrating that Kendrick can bleed. The man was humiliated in front of thousands, and his quiet is a sign of weakness. You can call him Poetic Jesus all you want. He was frightened by the Fifth, but Joe Budden responded on his podcast. You don't understand, no. Kendrick is here. He reacts differently than other rappers. He studies while sitting, and then he makes everyone regret requesting smoke. Additionally, Lemieux laughed too much, Jay laughed, and Cardi B laughed on Twitter. Even Snoop Dogg replied on Instagram Live saying, "This isn't over. You know my nephew? He's going to handle business. Just watch." Eminem's response was arguably the most surprising. But Cole liked a fan tweet that stated, "Don't take silence for weakness. Dot is still the king." The internet went berserk when followers realized that he liked 50 Cent's Instagram video of the freestyle, even though he didn't post anything himself. Some claimed that it was simply "I'm siding with 50. In trouble." Devotion to his lifelong companion, 50. The discourse was further upended by the optics, though. Memes, meanwhile, continued the drama. 50 clowned Kendrick, while TikTok edits showed him as a silent monk meditating. The revelations followed a flurry of jokes on Twitter, such as Dot writing a 50-page diss while 50's already on his third live troll. A 30-second SoundCloud video called Eulogy Kendrick Lamar's snippet had a voice that uncannily resembled Kendrick. The prophet instructs and the villain entertains. Time is not patient. Crowns are earned in the fire, not sold. You enhance my legacy with your performance. The fans went crazy. Dot Cooked has already been prepared. This eyebrow 50 has already won, genuine or artificial, and it's chilling me out. Hashtag Eula Jesnit Pit no. Someone get this boy ChatGPT? That AI does sound nice, though the trolling worked. His post pulled millions of likes in hours, but behind the folks, tension grew. Insiders close to TD hinted to blogs that Kendrick was in the studio nonstop. And one report said, he's not rushing it. Despite his ability to be calculated, it will be evident when he drops. 50, on the other hand, kept pushing himself and went live again while making jokes with his friends. Are you still waiting? Man, he fled into hiding when I made him look horrible. Kid Queens take the money. When insiders disclosed that Kendrick might not rely on streaming sites and instead intended to make his disc debut live in New York at Madison Square Garden, fans' anxiety increased even further. Fans went into a frenzy over the rumor, and his upcoming event in New York saw a sharp increase in ticket prices. Although Kendrick stayed mute after 50 insulted him live, there were growing whispers of a terrible live retaliation. He reacted as if he had been attacked. By the third day, it had evolved into a societal obsession rather than merely a dispute. Clips from that evening were not just being played back, but they were also being remixed, analyzed, and utilized as fodder for a feud that fans said went beyond Drake versus Kendrick. The world watched, wondering if 50 Cent's live humiliation was the final word or if Kendrick was preparing the most spectacular clapback in hip-hop history. Hip-hop braced itself for what could be the most perilous round yet as the quiet hung thick. The first crack came when TDE President Punch posted an enigmatic crown emoji on Twitter with the hashtag timing is everything. There were no words or context, just the words. Please don't let him do you like this. Respond to 50. Y'all, you woke up the wrong one. Fans even flooded 50's posts with taunts, saying things like, laugh now, cry later. He takes his time. Offloading. TMZ released paparazzi photos of Kendrick Lamar leaving a Compton recording studio at 2:14 a.m. wearing a serious low-necked hoodie. The headline read, Kendrick Lamar spotted leaving studio amid 50 Cent beef. The roars changed to he's working. The bomb is coming. The tweet went viral in a matter of minutes, and screenshots appeared on TikTok with captions like y'all aren't ready and dots loading. Fans believe this was confirmation, not just a tease. The internet went crazy when a 25-second clip called Crownless Kendrick Lamar Snippet appeared on SoundCloud. The voice sounded uncannily like Kendrick flowing over a dark, haunting beat. The villains are clowns. He thrives on the noise, but kings don't respond. We silence with poise. He is going to turn 50. He flexed in the moment. I reigned for years. My words are carved in stone. His fade with the cheers. 50 Cent swiftly uploaded the video on Instagram with the caption, someone get this boy ChatGPT. Even though some people laughed and called it phony, he swore it was true, citing studio leaks. But nice AI bars. The post received 2 million likes in less than a day. Dots fans doubled down as his fans laughed. Now that you're laughing, hold on till the real one comes out. Hashtag checkmate. Once more, celebrities weighed in. The game launched. You people are insane, man, if you believe that Dot isn't cooking at the moment. Fifth would be better off savoring the laughter now. This is hilarious, Lemex, but you all know Kendrick is different. Avoid rest. Don't take silence for weakness was a tweet that J. Cole liked. The last game is Dot. Loyalists stood with 50 on the other side. Conspiracy theories abound despite Eminem's subtle like on 50's video. I'm on Fifth's side. It's not just beef here. This is a whole coalition. The internet was split between hashtag Pulitzer Pen and hashtag GoatVillain, with podcasts snatching away the drama of academics' arguments on Twitch. Fat Joe told followers, listen, Fifth has been created for this. Lyrical, yeah, but Fifth thrives in chaos, so you guys had better respect that. If Kendrick doesn't drop this week, Biff will win. Simple. Hip-hop doesn't wait at you and disagreed. No, that's what makes Dot dangerous. He waits, he calculates, and then he writes your obituary. However, a wild rumor went viral that Kendrick was going to debut his response live at his upcoming show in New York, rather than releasing it on Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube first. Rap Insider Buzz claims, word isn't putting this on DSPs yet. He's performing live like Fifth. But you guys aren't prepared for the bars he has scheduled. In a panic, ticket prices soared, and overnight, resale seats for Kendrick's NYC trip reached $1,200 on StubHub. Tweets like, "Brr, this show is about to be history." "Live, fifth clown, live now." "Returning fire live is legendary." "If you have tickets, protect them with your life." One TikTok went viral, featuring Kendrick playing chess silently while 50 danced on stage. Memes kept coming in. "Quiet players win the game." #CH checkmate. Another edit featured Kendrick's face over Thanos snapping his fingers and saying, "loading." However, this was nothing compared to the viral video that received 20 million views in a single day, which featured footage of Kendrick moving silently through a crowd while the caption read, "He doesn't speak." Eulogy 2. By this point, the anticipation was unbearable. 50 Cent's live humiliation had turned into a countdown, and everyone knew Kendrick was getting ready. The world braced for New York. The night had arrived. Madison Square Garden was no longer just a venue. It was the battlefield. Fans flocked from all over the nation, some of whom paid thousands of dollars for resale. The Fifth embarrassed him live. If answers live, that humiliation turns into extinction. Hip-hop. The atmosphere was electric, tense, and almost cinematic. Outside the garden, protesters and superfans waved banners that read #Pulitzer Pen, while others shouted #GoatVillain at the top of their lungs. Inside, the crowd was buzzing with nervous energy. Every phone was out. Every TikTok streamer was live because they weren't there for a concert, but for war. The stage went dark, the lights dimmed, a single spotlight pierced the smoke, and Kendrick Lamar appeared in a simple black hoodie. There were no dancers or theatrics, just Kendrick and a microphone. "I'm the prophet." He inspired them. He clowned in the moment. "I carved out the years." His empires were built on smoke. "My legacy is evident." The crowd erupted, deafening, but Kendrick simply held up his hand, and then there was silence. 50 wanted humiliation live. "Let's finish this live." The beat dropped. The song was called Eulogy PT2 from the first bar. TikTok live streams were flooded with comments such as, "Is it #Eulogy2 and are they burying the fifth RN?" The arena rocked as spectators yelled, some of them hiding their lips in horror, leaving the throng in a frenzy. "Queens got the money, but prophets get time," he remarked, his comments growing more incisive. "I etch in the mind, not for the cameras." The screens behind him showed 50 Cent's most well-known magazine covers turning to smoke, clips of him in power fading to static, and then Kendrick's Pulitzer certificate lighting brightly. "You humiliated. That's a temporary win, but watch how the prophets turn noise into sin." "You played the villain." "But I'm writing the script," Kendrick remarked, staring directly into one of the live cameras as the dagger materialized. "Your weapon is your laughter." In just a few minutes, videos went viral on Twitter, gaining millions of views. Hashtags like #live, #Eulogy2, and #checkmate took over timelines, and celebrities responded in real time. Cardi B tweeted, "Oh my god. Gigi went. This is the burial. This is a circus. I don't clown with the crowd. This is the funeral." My silence equipped. The game wrote, "This is how you break up with a man." On Instagram, Honor Jay-Z also shared a mysterious narrative. The game was eternally altered by certain occurrences. However, 50 Cent responded in his only known manner, trolling just as supporters started announcing Kendrick as the winner. He uploaded a video of himself drinking champagne and laughing uncontrollably from his residence just minutes after the show ended. The post said, "That's cute, but this isn't over." Team 50 made fun of Kendrick's seriousness and all that poetry. And still, Team Kendrick flooded Twitter with images of 50's face on gravestones with remarks like funeral #checkmate. Our trap leaks. Headquarters claims that 50 Cent is about to turn his next show into a disc documentary. Cameras rolling, special guests, the entire production. He's going bigger. Fans couldn't believe it. One viral tweet summed up the madness. Fifth is going to resurrect live. Then the bombshell. Industry insiders claim that 50 Cent was already planning a live response event in Los Angeles. In the meantime, music critics celebrated the night as a turning point, with Rolling Stone describing Kendrick's performance as a generational reaction that encompassed CD and cultural statement. The world watched in wonder as Kendrick Lamar turned silence into a spectacle. But the cliffhanger was unavoidable, according to Billboard. Kendrick had left the stage without saying another word after dropping the microphone, and his silence after the performance was even more mysterious. Was the eulogy PT the first or the last chapter? Backstage leaks fueled the fire. Just before taking the stage, Kendrick was seen pacing on camera. When asked if he was sure he wanted to perform live, he calmly replied, "Are you sure you want to do this live? Live, they make you seem bad. You buried them alive." The video was widely slammed by fans who called it the most heartless response in years. Meanwhile, a teaser was released on 50's Instagram story. When the teaser was cut with Kendrick's performance by TikTok, fans captioned it, "This isn't beef anymore." Videos of black and white New York streets, a crown on the ground, and the words "Round 2 coming" sent the internet into a frenzy. By dawn, it was clear the hip-hop had been split. Kendrick's live performance was a masterclass, but 50's constant trolling and 24-hour commitment ensured that this conflict was far from over. As one widely shared post put it, Kendrick Live buried him. But bad guys don't die easily, and by the third round, the entire civilization will be rocked. So the stage wasn't simply put, the place was about to blow up. Asterisk was unpredictable, and all of a sudden, the hip-hop community is split in two. 50 Cent used laughter as a weapon by publicly humiliating Kendrick Lamar, and when Kendrick responded with Eulogy PT2 at Madison Square Garden, it became one of the most powerful live diss tracks ever. Fans claimed that it was a cultural funeral rather than just music, but 50 responded in typical fashion by teasing Round 2 and making fun of the situation. As a result, it's still unclear whether this conflict has already been decided or has just begun. Will Kendrick's precision bars be the final word? Or will 50 Cent's promise to host another live event intensify the conflict into more dangerous territory? It's obvious that this is more than simply a rap rivalry. It's a combination of entertainment, legacy, and warfare. Stay focused because the next chapter could be the biggest explosion in hip-hop history.